It was a two-story metal-sided building with a loft on the back side. It had everything that you could imagine stored in there to run a retreat, to do repairs, to do woodwork, electrical, plumbing. Everything was in there. Also, all of David's antique cars supplies, old bumpers and seats and mufflers and starters and generators and everything you can imagine were on big shelves on the back here and on this side here. And it's all gone. Every bit of it's gone.
Yeah, it looks like that headlight's crying.
It's crying. That
it
one over
melted
there's
the
popping.
glass.
Yeah, it's crying.
I've been crying, and it's so sad because it's like you said, it's the house that built you. It's the memories that sustain you.
Yeah, it was so hot that this melted down and sagged out. And isn't that crazy?
It's almost like blowing glass.
Yeah.
Yep.
All my Christmas decorations in Livermore. I was a crazy person for Christmas. And
Me too.
My kids would help me decorate, and all the families along up and down the street would help me decorate. So I had an 8-foot tall ice castle. I had a candy shop. The ice castle had a drawbridge and 4 turrets. Yeah.
So you went all out.
75 fake Christmas trees all decorated with a walkway, candy shop, toy shop with animated figures, and a 12-by-12 ice skating rink. That's how I got started. And what I had left was what I
That's
put
what's
here.
left, right?
It's right here. And
Right here.
the little guys right there. That's it.
Wait a second, this one. I want a picture of you holding that. There it goes. I got it. Perfect.
I'll keep the memories.
Oh.
All right.
That's the good thing about memories, huh?
That's right. They go when I go.
It's exactly true.
And at the end of the end of the yard was on fire down here. It did catch. All this is new fencing, although the old fencing burnt up. And of course the house is just over the hill there. And so Dave, like I said, Dave was able to rescue all the little tortoises. But Abe is so big, you'll see. He's up here. This area in here is where the tortoise house used to be. But as you can see, it burned hot and heavy. It was on these footings. And these trees will all have to come out also. So we're going to have to rebuild the tortoise house before this winter, because these are apes from Africa and they all need heat. So they have to be in a heated cabin. They had their own cabin here with a heater and light. What Abe's done, that's Abe.
I see.
What Abe has done is in the wild of Africa, he would do this exact thing. He would dig a cave and he would hide in there at night to keep him out of danger and to conserve water and stuff. And he's probably, I don't think I want to try and drag him out of there.
Yeah.
I'll just distress him. And he's feeling safe right now.
Right.
If I had an apple, then he would come out. But I'll get one for him in a little bit. So for right now, Abe's having to sleep in that. And he's safe enough, I guess, in there now. But the sooner we can get the tortoise house built,
So
the
he
better.
dug that himself?
He did. He dug that himself.
Wow.
In Africa, in the sandy soil there, he would dig probably 8 to 10 feet down at an angle like that, and then he would make himself a den. And he would spend the most of the day inside that den. And come out when the temperature and stuff were right.
How old is he?
Abe's about 19, 20 years old, somewhere around there. And he's growing a lot faster in captivity because we feed him. So in the wild, he'd probably be 80 years old to be this size. But because we feed him, he grows a lot faster. But he'll live to be 80 to 120, somewhere around in there. And so he'll outlive us. David's part of the Tortoise Society in Sacramento, so we'll get that set up with them. Or maybe my kids will take care of him. He makes a great house pet. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get the tortoise house built as quickly as we can. See, these trees are all going to go. They have to. They're in danger now. You probably saw footage of Abe on the news.
Yeah, I did.
Cal Fire came down the next day after the fire blew through because we had him in that large metal tank up there. That's what saved him. We had to lift him into it. One of the firefighters, I think his name was Andre, helped me lift him in there.
Awesome.
Abe's all hunkered down in his cave,
Cool.
so I don't want to distress him.
That's all right.
Yeah. You can see some of his food here. And in the small area in here, this is where we put the little ones.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have their own little enclosure in here. We got a sprinkler valve up here so we can turn the sprinklers on and keep them nice and cooled off. Right now everything's been scorched.
Well, some of the grapes that have made it through, it's kind of amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? We have raisins now. Yeah.
Freeze-dried.
Yeah, freeze-dried.
You
And
do.
but yeah, the grapes are coming back quickly. We've been watering as soon as we got the water tanks put back up. And that was our first thing to get, was power and water back. And so that's been quite a challenge.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here goes.
Elevated, so they had a real pretty view of the creek when it's, you know, running. And you could sit up there. There's a little porch, and on the porch we had 2 chairs and a little table so they could have a cup of coffee on their patio, their deck, and watch the river. And in the evenings maybe have a glass of wine. And yeah, Peter taking a dip.
Beautiful.
I was telling him, this is
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
He's so cute. Well, amongst all the things, we have a little bright spot here.
Hey, what are you doing,
So
monkey?
is this the river, or is it a
This is
tributary?
This is a little branch. In this area, it gets kind of flat and wide.
Yeah.
These are normally running. This is, like I said, the first time I've ever seen this go dry. So these will have water in them all year round, normally, except for this year. And
it's
there's
a
one here, one
Kasumna.
here, and then
Yes.
there's a little island, and then the main channel's over on the far side. Yeah, and we'll
That's
take a
where-
look at that at the other side of the lawn.
So that's where the Amador County line is over there.
Right in the middle of the river is the Amador County line. And we'll take a look at that lawn area down there. See, that's where my last cabin was down there. I had them all the way down to that place. And it just went along and wiped it burnt one and went to the next, and burnt another one and went to the next, burnt that one and went to the next. I mean, just all the way down the line.
Jumped all the way.
all
And
the
there
way.
were 11
Yeah. In this area?
in this area.
Yep. And one more, cabin number 12 was at the far end of the lawn. We'll take a look at that if you want.
Oh, definitely.
And I've got a picture of that one I'll give you on my computer because I never got a chance. I had just finished it this year.
Do you guys have internet out here?
I have satellite internet at my at
At the
here.
house.
Yeah. We don't have Wi-Fi down here, but we have a satellite down at the house. This is where I've got to be careful. All these nails and screws. We've been bringing magnets down here. Friends have been running them around. We had hammocks underneath the trees, but those are gone. So, see those hooks there? Those used to have hammocks hanging from them.
Yeah. Beautiful spot, you know.
It is. And thankfully, Cal Fire, you know, and look already. Look at the
Already
blackberry
growth.
bushes. Isn't that incredible? Since the fire, the blackberry bushes are growing that much. That's incredible, isn't it?
That is incredible.
3 weeks?
That tells you Mother Nature's
Mother
resilience
Nature.
right there. And thank God it is, because we need that. See, in a typical spring runoff, the river's going to come all the way up into here. So we're on river bottom right now.
So that's why you chose there to
That's
build.
why I put the cabins all up in that area up in there, just above the floodplain, and of course up on stilts. Those footings go down 2 feet, and then I have rebar, so that they're footed. You know,
Which is a lovely spot to be sitting with the river running by.
exactly. So yeah, the tents and the cabins come up every winter. They're on wood platforms, and they come up every winter. They'll have to do it again this year, but we don't have any storage, so I got to build a storage building.
The storage building, of course,
Is
burnt
up there.
down.
It all burnt down.
Burnt
all
down.
Of our buildings burnt down up there. So I've got to build one of those first.
What a beautiful spot for retreats. It
Isn't it?
really is
I
lovely.
look at this.
The blackberries
awesome.
are good.
The blackberries are real good. You know, this year they tend to have a little bit of a smoky flavor.
Make some. Can you make elderberry wine or blueberry or blackberry wine with
They can if
smoky?
they want to.
That would be
See,
pretty good.
We have in the tents. We have our a mattress on a
Nice.
bed frame, and then you've got the river right in the background.
Oh, how awesome! See, I could do this being disabled.
Oh yeah. See, and you've got room underneath for suitcases and stuff.
Nice, and you can sit there. You can
Exactly.
stand up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not let the dogs in there because I don't want them on the
Nope.
bed.
Nope. And they would.
On a typical year, you'd have the river running right behind us,
Come on.
right behind this tent. And at night, the sounds and the smell of the river and everything.
Beautiful.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Typically, it'd be running right in here, but this year being the drought,
Well, you know,
further away. But next year it'll be back.
I think so. They're talking we may have a good rainy season. Let's
We'll
hope.
have a nice El Nino, yes.
That's what we're hoping
Just
for.
back up, right. Exactly. They saw the fire up there, but they didn't know it had wrapped around. See, so I had to come down and let them know that it was time to leave immediately. Because you couldn't tell from here that it was all the way down the other side. And I knew once it got down there, it would come straight up the canyon and wrap clean around us by that point.
Wrapped around, and like it took places that devastated and little places that left untouched. Look at all this.
Wow.
See, you can't even tell down here. And thank God, because like I said, this is how we eat.
Right.
And if we'd lost that main kitchen, we'd have been done. But Cal
Yeah.
Fire saved it.
Oh,
That propane tank vented. We had filled it the day before, and it vented. And they said it was blowing smoke or flames 80 feet in the air when it vented. But they were right there on the spot, and so they were able to put it out. But just so people know, let them know, Rancho Cicada is going to rebuild. And
Rebuild.
look at it.
Well,
I mean-
that's the name of our benefit is Music to Help Rebuild.
Perfect. Thank you.
You bet. My pleasure, sir.
I love living here.
I don't blame you. This is beautiful.
When Dave and I pass, our ashes will be scattered here.
That's how I feel about my property in West Point. That's what I hope to do. Sweetie's just loving it. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys brought me. Did you have some water now? Is this a natural, or did you guys put some rocks to help,
no,
or that's just
the rocks
nature?
No, we had the last two groups. The 4th of July group made this upper dam because the river had gotten so low, and then the birthday party was a joint 60th birthday party. The husband and wife both turned 60. They'd been here before.
And
so
look at that. Look at that. The fire is right
there.
there.
It got all the way down to the river's edge.
What a contrast.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know, those alders, every time we have to manage them when they start growing up in the middle of the river.
Uh-huh.
When I cut them down,
They grow right back.
They're up that high
Yeah,
again.
they'll grow right back.
So those will come back.
Yeah. Those will be back by next spring. We'll be seeing green over there. There'll probably be wildflowers all over the place.
You can pan from here and get destruction all around.
Yeah.
It's all around, and we're like in a little cove here
Yeah, we're
that
in an oasis.
stayed.
Hasn't been touched. And that's what we need to let our clients know because they're concerned.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know, when we get the video done here that I'm making you, we can burn you a copy and give it to you.
oh, that'd be
And
wonderful.
you can put it
Thank
up
you.
on your website.
That would be wonderful. Truly, thank you. Anything like that to help. We're doing good next year. It's looking all right. Those groups that know us and they know Rancho Cicada, they've already let us know that they'll be back next year. So it's having a little impact on our weddings because they don't really want a little burned out area.
No,
So
you've got, you know, this is going to take a few years to get that, but it's still beautiful
Oh, yeah.
in here.
there's little smallmouth black bass in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that dam was hand stacked by a group that came up on the
Don't
4th
tell
of July.
Fish and Game.
No. Oh, they've been here several times. We're good friends with Fish and Game, actually. They're good fellows.
We did that as my dad was a developer of real estate, and there were areas that we did that too, and so that we could get deep enough water to get wet in.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's not a permanent dam, and when the spring thaws come, it knocks it down, puts it back in the riverbed. When the river gets too low, we put it back, and it's kind of a cycle. And we don't stop the flow of the river; we just slow it down. Yeah. For our
beautiful.
swimming hole. All that will be wildflowers and grass next spring. It'll be all grown back. We do weddings. We host weddings. That's why these lights are up here. Yep. But Dave and I are here all the time. When there's a group here, we're here. We live on site. They get to know us. When we do weddings, we're available but unobtrusive. We don't, we just
Right.
we rent the place, and then we're just here if they have an issue or a question. We're here to help things go smoothly.
Now you had another building here that's been destroyed, or no?
They saved, this is Dogwood Cabin, and they got right to the edge of the cabin, and Cal Fire there's a parking lot above, so CAL FIRE was able to pull into the parking lot and run their hoses down and save Dogwood Cabin. So they saved the kitchen, they saved the hot tub, they saved the covered patio at both cabins. Basically the retreat, except for the 12 wood cabins and a couple of tents. I lost a couple of tents in all 12 wood cabins. I don't know if you want to walk up there or not, but just around the corner is where I had that 12th cabin. And I'll give you a picture of that. I have it on my computer. I'll print it out because I was really proud of that cabin.
Now, you hand-built all this, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I build these, I have to bring my little red and white truck and I load it with all my building materials. I can back up to here, but then things have to be carried from here down. All the concrete, 80-pound, I can't tell you how many 80-pound concrete bags. Put them in the wheelbarrow, take them down, hike them up the hill, pour them in the footings, get a 5-gallon bucket of water, put it in the concrete.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is extremely labor intensive.
So that's going to keep you in good shape.
It does. It's a good life. I'm going to get a drink of water. That was the first thing we wanted.